I always find it interesting that we give a contract as big as highways to one company and try and call that some free market solution, when really all you've done is replace the state monopoly with a private monopoly. And I think if you really want competition in highways, you should be tendering it out to more than one company and let them compete with one another. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. As we're on an audit committee, I want to talk about finances, and because we're currently in a period of purge, I'm going to be very careful with my language here. I'm not going to mention any parties, but I will mention government and council. So I want to talk about the money that was spent during COVID. A lot of money was given to help improve transport infrastructure to this council, and how that money has been spent. In particular, the Bristol Road Bus Lane, which I'm pretty sure Razim knew I was probably going to raise. We have a petition, obviously, to scrap this, but I'd like to know the actual costs, how much money was spent actually in imposing that. Councillor
Morrall, in terms of the Bristol Road Bus Lane, bus and cycle lane, the tranche one of the Active Travel Fund, back in the summer last year, we were told categorically from the government that we will give you tranche one of the money. Can you please deliver these projects within 8 weeks? And obviously, when you expect you to deliver within 8 weeks, there's limited consultation and engagement with communities. But quite clearly, we couldn't get everything right. There's by and large, there's quite a lot of support for the projects that we've implemented. There are particular concerns about two projects: the low traffic neighbourhood in Kings Heath and the A38 bus and cycle lane. And I know Councillor Morrall has been working very closely with the MP for Northfield. Phil, can I bring you in terms of the costs around Bristol Road, if possible?
Okay, thank you, Cabinet Member. Thank you, Chair. I think on the cost, I haven't got that to hand, despite some fairly rapid inquiries I've made, but we'll get that back to Councillor Morrall.
On highways infrastructure itself, I'd like to know a bit more about the bureaucracy involved and what we can do from an audit perspective to kind of cut out a lot of that, because it seems like we have to jump through so many hoops just to get stuff done in our wards. In particular, we got some speed bumps put in my ward, and the only way we could do that was to pool our resources from one year to the next. And this show, I've been told we're not able to do that. So I'm interested why is it 1 year we can do it, but we can't do it the following year?
I think we do as much as possible look to let people roll money over year to year. But whilst we're talking about finances, the council and the combined authority is currently in the last year of a 3-year settlement. That was part of the devolution deal created as part of setting up the combined authority. And we're collectively in discussions now with DfT on a region-wide basis into what's going to be called intra-city settlements. This is how funding will work moving forward.
And my final question is going to be on the clean air zone. We've consistently called for an economic impact assessment on this as an audit committee, and on the Economy and Skills Over in Scrutiny Committee. We're constantly getting economic impact assessments to do with Brexit, and that's always framed around the car industry and the impact it's going to have on the manufacturing the car industry. Well, the clean air zone is also going to affect the car industry quite literally. So why are we not seeing more economic impact assessments on what is a flagship policy of this council? Thank you, Chair.
But we have to reset the relationship between the city, the citizens and car, and the level of reliance or the over-reliance on private car is ultimately leading to gridlock, and is also ultimately leading to high and illegal levels of air quality in the city. And that's why we have to really push forward with a modal shift towards walking and cycling for those shorter journeys, and towards buses and other mass transit systems for the longer journeys.
I think it's just perhaps worth reminding members of the significant engagement we did with the business community. I know Councillor Morrall was talking about the car industry. Obviously, residents are still obtaining new vehicles, etc. But we did extensive engagement with the likes of the business improvement districts, who are in full support of these measures. And
from this point through to reprocuring that contract on a PFI basis, yes, it will take. It is going to take through to 2023, which is what was in. I think was put into the cabinet report. But I think that's on the basis that it will be looking at quite a sort of refreshed model, a new set of contract and performance obligations, which we have to talk to the talk to the market about, get their interest in. Obviously,
as
again,
Cabinet members aware, we've launched the Future City Plan, City Centre Master Plan for public consultation, which is running now, and that sets out a number of ambitious plans in terms of reusing some car parks within the city centre. Red Cage car park is a really good example of that, really prominent site within the city core. As councillors have said, great opportunity there to utilise for a much more effective use going forward. So consultation on that's running, and we'll be back out on the planning framework for the city centre again later this year.
And I often say that there's so much space in our city that's wasted, and high profile space in our city that's wasted on parking, is how we can make better use of that space when we can start to shift more people in the city, within our city, whether they're from inside our city or from outside our city, to more sustainable modes of transport.